So Christian, I'd like to go back to a concept that you skimmed through in a previous video about genetics. We know that we inherit from our parents and our ancestors, but it seems that we can also transform our genes on a daily basis. I'd like you to go back on this subject since it's not a well-spread information. Can you explain a little bit more about this? It's a really audacious concept that can be disturbing for the human mind as we link our identity to our genetic code. Our genetic code is said to be unique and stable, but it's not. At the end, it's not. We talk more and more about epigenetics. Ernest Rossi was a pioneer on the subject. He discussed in a very informed and scientific manner about these observations, stating that there were intelligent, meaningful, logical mutations and transformations of the genetic code, thanks to hypnosis particularly, and therapy in general. I have to mention Professor Jouvet again because he's a known and recognized authority in his field. In the 50s, he was the first French scientist to talk about the REM sleep, dreams. He brought it to light through the brain waves, talking about the brain hyperactivity during the REM sleep. The rest of his work is much less known. He explains that in warm-blooded animals, which include human beings, the function of the dreams is to reprogram our genes according to our experiences, which will make us evolve as well as our children, since it also involves our gametes, the genes in the spermatozoids and eggs. This way, our life, what we experience, will be transmitted in a quasi-direct way to future generations, which will benefit from it and enrich it. So for geneticists, what is the human being? Well, it's the brief spatial-temporal medium of a genetic code meant to be improved. The human being gets a genetic code at birth and leaves it at death, and in between he augments his genetic code with his experiences. This explains genetic diseases in their positive way in terms of adaptation. It's also another challenge for the human mind to consider disease with a positive purpose. I didn't say that disease is positive. Within the subjective experience, it's negative, painful, limiting, incapacitating, frightening, but it has a positive intention. And since it has a positive intention, biodecoding will search for this positive intention, whether the disease originates from our own life or our genetics. We're going to look for its origin, and the outcome will be what biology is capable of doing. So, if I understand well, our genetic pool reorganizes itself every single day, so it means we can change our genetics on a daily basis, right? Yes, that's what Rossi and Jouvet claim, two researchers who don't know each other, and also other researchers came up with the same conclusion. So it's not an inescapable fatality. Right. In epigenetics, we essentially talk about the importance of the environment, climatic, emotional, relational environment. I'm thinking about this Japanese researcher who works on water molecules, where he would put some water on a glass slide, freeze it, and then at some point when it defrosts, he observes it under a microscope. The image of the crystal will look different depending on the water's environment. His name escapes me, but I'm sure the viewers know this man. So, if next to the water we write the words war or violence, and then we freeze it and observe the crystal, we see an ugly and dark image of the molecules. On the contrary, if we write the words love, peace, or light, or we play some classical music to it, it will look different. much simpler than us, than our genes. Yet, water is a very simple element. It's only 3 atoms. So, the influence of the environment is more and more obvious. I'm thinking also about quantum physics. Many experiences show that the intention of the observer influences matter. This opens up our eyes on a new consciousness, which will kindle new behaviors between us, towards the planet, and also towards ourselves. Can we say when we do a therapy, we change our genetic programs? Is it also a change at the genetic level? Then we must be able to prove it. We cannot check the genetic code of each patient to prove it. It's the realm of scientific research laboratories. On the other hand, and that's also what Professor Lipton says about the importance of the environment. But what I'd like to add to this is that we talk a lot about the external environment, because for most people the environment is external. It's about pollution, the family atmosphere, all those things. Yet, it's not only that, and I don't think it's the most important. I think that the environment is internal. It may seem contradictory to state that. However, we carry the external world inside us, and we do not react to the external world, but to what we believe to be the external world, which is a construction, which is an internal world filled up with all our souvenirs, memories, fears, desires, all those constructions which are our own subjectivity. So we react to all those illusions, ghosts, fantasy, which inhabit our subconscious. We react to this, whereas the therapy acts on our internal world, our creation, on its inner residence, on this inner environment, which, as a matter of fact, automatically influence our emotional, physical, biological, neurological, and genetic life.